Good morning. Welcome to Just for Today, a time of eclectic reading, sharing of perspectives, meditation, and prayer. I'm Reverend Rafe Ellis, spiritual leader at the Columbia Greater Baltimore Center for Spiritual Living. Today is June 14th. And what caught my attention this morning was I Want to Change, but I Don't Know How by Tom Rusk and Randy Reed, both MDs. And I opened it up to page 282. And here's what it offers us to consider. Maybe the word God reminds you of fakes and holy rollers too much for you to ever be comfortable using it. Okay, don't use it. Words are just words. For God, like love, has suffered heavy abuse over the ages. So ignore the words. What we're talking about when we say God is much bigger than words could ever say. The peace, the flow, the oversoul, the force. Call it as you see it. For it's the experience that counts. Go outside. Feel the trees, feel the sky, feel the great world turning. Work, play, rest, create. Live each moment as fully as possible. Look around, look within, feel the presence, feel the overwhelming love. What a great way to reframe a word that has come to mean such a limited perspective of an unlimited, indefinable something that is everything. Right? Um, and yes, that's what I believe, and that's what I experience. And so that really feeds me today because today there is a lot going on here on planet Earth, particularly here in the United States of America. Even the question of united and even the sovereignty of states is being questioned. Um, we are in a tremendous reimagining, and with reimagining comes restructuring. And so, what comes to me is, will we be intentional? Will we choose to be conscious and be fully present, like the reading offers us, to redefine the words and go deeper than language to this thing of experience? And for me, part of that is recognizing and taking absolute undefended ownership that everything I do has an impact on the experience of creation as a whole, because there's no separation, there's no bubble that I get to operate in where no one else is impacted by what I think and do. And I think when more of us awaken to that unified perspective, that total perspective, that wholeness perspective of the inseparability of one, and we live into that in a way that everything we do uplifts the whole body, we will see the whole body change. Now, we may not see it in our physical lifetime, and I think that's challenging for some of us. But what if we just focus on changing experience, changing our individualized experience with the belief, the anchor, the foundation that when we change our experience, we incrementally change the experience of the whole. And so as I heal, I help all of the whole body heal, right? And maybe I let go of the human egoic perspective that I somehow need to have that validated. And I think that's where faith comes in, right? That faith is that belief in the substance of things not seen, the evidence of things hoped for. So I offer you that to consider. And so I'm going to read this through one more time before I take us into our 5 minute meditation. Um, and during the meditation, I invite you to just be present with the words of the reading and be present with whatever it sparks in you. To just be. You don't have to do anything, just be. Okay, here we go. Maybe the word God reminds you of fakes and holy rollers too much for you to ever be comfortable using it. Okay, don't use it. Words are just words. For God, like love, has suffered heavy abuse over the ages. So ignore the words. What we're talking about when we say God is much bigger than words could ever say. The peace, the flow, the oversoul, the force. Call it as you see it. For it's the experience that counts. Go outside, feel the trees, feel the sky, feel the great world turning. Work, play, rest, create. Live each moment as fully as possible. Look around, look within, feel the presence, feel the overwhelming love. So let's take that into contemplation and meditation. So in this moment, I recognize one, one power that is everywhere present, that is life itself, expressing in the multiplicity of expression. One power that is love, that is peace, that is the flow of energy. It is the energy that flows. And as we use this thing called language to describe it, I am aware that words only capture a fraction of what it is. Whether I call it God, Buddha, Allah, Great Spirit, the Great Mystery, whether I call it love, peace, power, presence, it is beyond what language can capture. And so in this moment, I lean into the infinite nature of this one, the intelligence that holds the universe together, the creative process that expresses the desire of its heart to expand its experience of itself by individualizing itself in form, and by giving each individualized form all that it is. To create, to express desires of its heart. And as I recognize this one omnipotence, this one omnipresence, this one omniscience as the totality of all that is, I recognize that I must be that in form. And what is true of me must be true of all. And so, as I speak my word, it must also be true that it is the word of the infinite speaking through this vehicle of itself as me, speaking itself into being, speaking itself into experience. And so I claim and affirm that today is a day of opening. Today is a day of newness. Today is a day of reframing and finding the indefinable, unlimited God, life, love, peace, power, presence, oversoul, mystery, experience in every moment. That everything unlike that, every sense of lack and limitation is moved into awareness so that it can be neutralized, so that truth can be told to the lie of limitation, so that wholeness can heal the lie of separation, so that the divine ability to see with absolute clarity sees through behavior, beyond behavior, to the essence of the behavior. That there is a connection and a kinship and a recognition that draws life to life. And as that awakening occurs, healing happens and behavior changes. I claim and affirm that I love from the inside to the inside, no longer limited by the false narrative to reject or accept based on behavior, but to see the wholeness of the behavior. to honor the physical realm, but not to be limited by it. So I live this day in love. I live this day in conscious, intentional awareness of the wholeness of one. And I am grateful. I'm grateful that the law of creation, the activity of creation, the doer within that triune nature of the one has already acted upon this desire, has already heard the word spoken and made it so. And so I let go of even the limitation of my perspective that looks for it, and instead I live it, knowing that it already is. Letting go of the need for external validation, I live in the faith that knows the word cannot return void, has already been fulfilled, and I live in the confidence that it is. And so, living in that, I let go. I let go of all the noise in my brain. I let go. And I be the magnificence of creation. Ashe. Shalom. Aho. Amin. Amen. And so it is. Namaste.